Hey YouTube fam, how you be? You know, we have 3 nines in this reading showing up in the tarot. But we also have cards like the 8 of Pentacles, which speaks of mastery and skills, whether you're returning to school or you've really been fine-tuning your abilities, your gifts. Okie dokie. So I'm doing the tarot first this time because I like letting the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the art and everything and all of its symbolism, even in the coloring, really paint let's lay that foundation of a story, right? Because I like to think of tarot as storytelling. So the very first card I drew was the Two of Cups. So regardless, this is a new beginning. This is a 2, and that represents new beginnings coming right after those aces, right? So the thing about this card is it could be talking about love and relationships, like harmony, healthy relationships, right? There's affirmations like, I attract only healthy relationships. And one of my favorite pieces of the imagery is how she kind of looks like the high priestess and this person kind of looks like the fool. So it could be your mind, your intuition, and your spirit. You're thinking of both like the sacral and the solar chakras joining forces with the crown and the third eye. And just like, well, let's do this then. You know what I mean? But there is love. You know, with the cups comes emotions and creativity, right? And underneath that card, I like to do a row of 4 and then a row of 4 underneath. And underneath the Two of Cups, I drew the 9 of Wands. So, I want you to stop worrying about the when and the how and the why on this one. Because a point is being made that healing is going on, right? The 9s, and there's 3 of them, so we're really in a time of letting go of that which doesn't serve and all of that good, and, you know, picking up the wisdom and moving on, right? Healing from the past. We are protected. We are safe to heal and work and heal our minds and our hearts and our spirits, right? Our abilities to be creative, because Wands is fire, that's passion. So, like, whatever's going on, if it is someone new coming into your life, I want you to keep in mind that this is, the now is completely different from the then, right? So if you're feeling triggered, if you feel like you're worried about red flags and times in the past when, whether it was romance or a friend, you know, someone that you thought was a friend, remember that that particular person is the one who hurt you, not love, and not your ability to love. And you've learned a lot from your experiences. So make sure that, you know, because I'm also seeing, like, because there's pain, right? But if there's the bandage around the head, so that kind of is making me think of the mind and such. And whatever it is, like maybe you used to have I used to have chronic migraines. So maybe that's something you can, that resonates with you. Maybe it wasn't migraines, but your body itself was trying to give you warnings. You yourself, your instincts, your intuition has been trying to talk to you this whole time, right? And it can be really difficult to understand exactly what's going on and the full spectrum of ways that we receive input from the outer world, outer from us, I mean, right? So maybe you used to have GI issues that since, I think of like when lockdown happened and people were able to work from home. I'm thinking of those where it was like Finally, I don't have to deal with traffic. I don't have to go into work all day. And in the midst of being able to be in a more relaxing, comfortable environment, whether it was in your living room or you actually were able to dedicate an office to it, certain things that were going on with your body eased up because you weren't receiving that constant input that was affecting you, right? So maybe that's why the Eight of Pentacles is showing up. Maybe someone has moved on from that, because after the Two of Cups, I'm totally getting ahead of myself in times. Thank you for your patience. After I drew the Two of Cups, I did draw the Six of Cups. So I feel like someone is recognizing an element about their own youth, that, because it's coming up above the Ten of Wands, there's that burnout factor. So I feel like there's something that you really wanted to do in your youth when you didn't have to worry about bills, right? Your youth, you know? That you may have sacrificed in order to get, like, to do what you were told you needed to do what you thought you needed to do in order to take care of your home, to pay your bills and whatnot. But this is like, this can also be over scheduling yourself. This person is overburdened. Maybe someone was a bit of a people pleaser, and they said yes too many times, and they became overwhelmed with it all, and has been needing to work on boundaries for themselves, sometimes even with themselves, right? This is the learning to say no, learning to understand when is the right time to say no, and sticking to that, right? And being able to utilize this time to heal, right? Because we have these two on the bottom row with these two. So there's a link, getting those mixed up. There's a link between your childhood and being young and carefree, but also there's a guard here. And I can never help but notice that. I notice that the cups are full of flowers and beautiful, like, not only colors, but greenery. I always notice, like, the offering that's going on and the guard, right? Ava Suekona. So I feel like maybe for someone, that is how you're getting through this. That is how you're able to get through and push this final leg. You know what I mean? Push this last mile or whatever it may be. Because then we have another interesting pair, fam. We have the Knight of Swords with the Hermit underneath. Interesting. The swords are the mind and stuff. That's also the fastest knight in the entire deck. Like, even the horse is like, wow, hauling, right? But we also can't see the full length of the sword. So it's like it's going up into the heavens, which speaks to me of, with it under, like, are you kidding me? This pairing, that soul searching, that want to, it's good to be in touch with your emotions. It's good to be able to nurture and care for your inner child and those sides of yourself that maybe others haven't really had many chances to see. For the Hermit, like, the star is inside of his lantern, right? So he went up on this mountain to soul seek and figure things out. And I, like, with the Knight of Swords, like, it's like more than ever so much about, like, I don't want to play with the illusions of this world anymore. this material world, right? I don't want to keep getting distracted because Hollywood's tugging on my heartstrings. You know what I mean? Or whatever equivalent, right? As an example, right? Like, someone has really been trying to utilize this time, recognizing that things are changing and for the better, to find truth, right? And then these next two cards are my favorite ones. They're my favorite ones in this reading. After the Nine of Swords, I drew the freaking Nine of Cups, which is the Wish Granted card. Now, the thing about this, though, with this deck, the printing, they mixed up the color of the, I think it's a Tudor hat. I remembered, hey. And the tablecloth behind them. The tablecloth should be blue. Blue really, if I'm not mistaken, speaks on intuition in the mind, right? That internalness going on. Like, think of the High Priestess card with all of that blue, right? She's even wearing it, right? And she has all the moons with her. But it's also kind of cool getting to see how well he matches with the Magician card that came up underneath him. So this pairing looks very well indeed, right? This is someone who is their own savior, right? Their own knight in shining armor. Although his is dark armor, but like in clothing wise and such, we're thinking of like protection, right? And like the Hermit, I feel the need to say he's mainly wearing like gray. It's a lot of gray going on with him with that deep blue background. And gray tends to speak of neutrality, right? Non-bias. He's not trying to be dissuaded by the different, like, enough with the debates, enough. I just want to breathe. You know what I mean? I just freaking want to breathe. It's 2025. What the fuck? This is someone who is able to manifest with ease. They understand the give and receive flow of life. They understand the balancing of energy and themselves. They've been working hard and they've learned what can come. You know, like you've learned from experiences. You're burnt out and you're tired, but you're not done learning. Even now, you keep learning, you keep growing and evolving. You've really been utilizing every moment, even when you're watching TV. Things are coming up. It's like the signs of synchronicities that people don't really talk about. They're usually just talking about numbers and stuff like, oh my goodness, there's 3 9s here. And such, right? Because there's a swiftness with this Knight of Swords. So, I mean, either something's going to happen and some kind of thing is going to resonate with you and you're going to be like, I'm going to go on a vacation, okay? I will be right back. And I'll see you in a moment. But I don't think so, because we're being really reminded of a cycle ending and a new one beginning with balance and harmony. And that's what I tend to feel like with this too. This is another card of balance and harmony, as above, so below, as within, so without, and all that good. And here's that 8 of Pentacles as a caboose, as the epilogue to this epic tale, right? A lot of hard work and time and energy. So the question is, for whom this may be resonating for, is that a thing of the past? Have you been putting in that time? And this is just keep going. Keep going. This is the good, right? Keep going. Goodness gracious. That was one of the most obnoxious interruptions ever in the history of my time here on YouTube. Wow. Moving on. I can't even remember what the heck I was saying before. I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes waiting for someone to chill. One thing that you need to remember, however, is that you are not alone. That when you need help, you do have options for receiving help. At the bottom of the tarot deck is the Temperance card. Now, this could be you defying gravity, being a master alchemist, yes. That could be a thing. Why not? But generally, it can also speak of needing to speak to the divine, right? How are you praying? Are you asking, or are you having a conversation? You know what I mean? If the power is within you, then what are you doing with what's without you, right? Are you honoring nature and the energy all around you? Or are you really sensitive to that and you need help with protection and guidance? Usually when cards like Temperance turns up, that's a very, like, with that imagery, it's very angelic, right? Not unlike the Lover's card. So what about the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck to add to this morning? The world awaits you. Rise and shine. Time for some breaky. And Lighthouse. Don't doubt your worth, right? I know that we have cards like the Two of Cups, which can speak a lot about new love and new relationships. But keep in mind that when it comes to the tarot, first and foremost, love begins with us. Even with the Lover's card, it speaks first of self-love, right? So, like I was saying before, this could be parts of yourself, your mind and your spirit, being able to work in concert together, your mind and your heart, right? Whatever that part of you that is able to feel that awe in life. Or maybe there's someone who is a bit more of an adventurer and has already been through a lot and has all this previous wisdom for themselves, and they love going on adventures, and you're coming in with your intellect and intuition and such, right? On the bottom of that one is Mirror. Treat your body like the palace it is. Be good to yourself. You're alive. Thank goodness. What about the archetypes? Let's see. We have the Crone, but that's kind of speaking in past tense. It feels like it's connected to the 10 of Wands. Like, the Crone card, it's very much so, because it's the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. The Crone isn't persuaded by fads and opinions of others and stuff. They're very, very secure within themselves. They know their own power. They are honoring nature and energy, right? It's just the elder version of the Magician, right? Been there, done that, accepting the good and the bad, capable of recognizing without judgment, which we talk about a lot, right? What's next? The Destroyer. Interesting. Because what I'm thinking of is like when stars go out, right? But because I'm like, it feels very connected to the Hermit. So it feels more like they're combining for more of a tower energy of destruction for the sake of rebirth, right? On the bottom of that is the Venom. Upright, fam. Yeah, you're tired, you're burnt out. You might be getting snippy at times. And that's the bottom of that deck. So that's something that's concerning you. Like, you're just tired, fam. You're tired. And that's okay. I'm pretty sure you should be. You've done a lot. And this is a time for healing. These are your reminders that things change for reasons. And quite often, more often than people seem to care to admit, it's for good reasons. You need to move on. These moments you've already learned, you've drawn the wisdom from them that they have. The sponge is dry. You know what I mean? What about the extra notes, fam? We have never again. You know better now. No turning back, fam. There's no turning back. And then go ask Alice. Logic and proportion, all right? That you may be passionate, you may be creative, you may be magical, and quite possibly defying gravity, Master Alchemist. But logic is very important to you, right? Logic and being able to see through the illusions of this material world. At the bottom, hey, I had to go and say it. So now I love synchronicities. Yay. Aw, fam. You got this. You just take care of yourself. You keep working. Don't worry about it. It's going to get better. It is getting better. And you are enabling that. You're the one who's doing that. You're making these changes within yourself. Okay? So if the walls are crumbling like that tower card, let them. Let them. You will know what it is that gets to stick around, the parts of yourself and what you yourself are like at this point in the evolution trajectory and all of that. Trust that. Trust that. Okay? This is all worth it. This is all leading you exactly where you want to be. Right? You got the Magician underneath the wish fulfillment card. Just being reminded that every day, steady progress every day is working out for you. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me, fam. I really appreciate the company every time. And always remember that I believe in you.